How's your spirit? For the record, my name is Janine Christie Paxton Perkins Hill. My given name by my father is Maya Abina Umoja. It's gonna matter. Just stay with me for a minute, please. Umoja means unity, and let's just say I was pretty girl born on a Tuesday, meant to bring unity by way of being a child of the sun, peaceful, practitioner, healer. See, okay. Thanks for keeping me peaceful. I want to explain to you how I got here and why children are relevant at this moment and why I sit in the children's section, amongst a host of other reasons. One of them being I was a daycare provider for several years, and I didn't use cannabis then. I did smoke cigarettes because I was exceptionally stressed out. My children's father was deployed downrange. That means he was overseas at war, like what's happening at this time in history. And because David Fontaine or any other soldier could get called up, I think it's important to help mothers who are in the military today understand some things. Okay. My son, who's here in Tucson with me, well, near me anyway, um, we go through the DARE program one day, and DARE says that cigarettes are a drug. Okay. Everyone has their different belief systems, and that's okay. That's not what we're talking about. What I'm talking about is the things that we need to be aware of when we're around children so that it makes sense. And we stop doing damage by thinking that standing in front of conversations that we think are adult or too much are actually what they need to understand this moment in history. There are many people who play themselves out of pocket in this way today. They didn't know my story when I came to Tucson. They didn't know that I had been a mother who was in the United States military as a wife for 20 years during the global war on terrorism. Now here it is, 2026, and I seek justice for myself and others like me at this same moment in history to protect the mothers who come behind me, my future daughter-in-law included, or daughter-in-law at least at the moment. So really, I'm about to get out of pocket because what's being done is done on purpose. The gang stalking is obvious, and using your children to do it is just downright depravity. It goes to show motive and dysfunction. Cancer is the dysfunction of the American society. The American Heart Association would say the same thing when it comes to lung cancer and cigarettes, and that's how it became part of the DARE program. However, there are people who are indigenous to this land who have always used tobacco, so we need to back up and clarify the narrative when we are discussing things. If we all have our religious freedoms, and we all have them. If one doesn't, then no one does. Trample on my freedoms. I trample on your feelings. And it don't make me no difference who gets strays in the interim. They earned them. It was known as karmic debt, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the Catholics believe in being born into sin. That's it. That's why you got to go to confession from basically birth, because you were born karmics, sinners, out here doing demonic deeds. That's why y'all came up with exorcisms over that way, trying to heal yourselves of your blasphemy for centuries. You know, back in the Crusades days. You got all these Hispanics want to be, what's that, Hispanics, I guess. It don't matter to me. Filipino, Willoughby, Wallaby, who knows? I don't care though. I am an indigenous born American that you call black. Don't play with me, man. I come from the belly of the beast. And if you know, you know. If you don't, you still confused out here. And I'm gonna let you be. That's where you were born and that's where you shall remain, you see. That's that demonic energy fleeing. When you talk about your destiny, it becomes harder out here. When you manifest your own destiny by way of ignoring prophecy, then you get what you get. Thought you could determine the Messiah by being what? Something to do with papaya. I don't know what the hell is papaya. Papaya seeds? Oh, is that gonna poison me? Yeah, please. Remember the time y'all tried to kill a little bitty me? It's actually kind of funny to me. So, getting back to the conversation, if I can remember, because people was messing with me. Oh yeah, that's right, cannabis. Okay, look, y'all, it's real simple. It wasn't up there by the way, but anyway, cannabis. Here's how this works. I figured out how to use cannabis to heal myself of cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and how to stabilize myself with wasting syndrome after gastric bypass surgery. That's the journey from the very first live stream on JP, the aspiring matriarch, to this moment in history where Louisiana is allowing medical marijuana in the hospitals for terminal patients and chronic illnesses. We can heal. That's why they're allowing for holistic medicine in hospitals today. And insurance is making the way. Now cannabis has to come forward into this thing full circuit, and that's me by way of the Gateway Project. You see, what I recognized in doing my research and being followed up by double blind over here, we won't get into it. Just deal with it for a moment, okay? I was able to determine that the potholes in my mind that over time had been abuse, period, right? I was able to use cannabis to fuse those potholes in my mind so that now my thoughts don't leak out into the environment and no one can manipulate the way that I think. What it means though for the medical community is I was able to believe in me even when others did not believe in my healing capabilities and or properties as a human being, not just as a healer, but as a human being, that my body could heal itself with the assistance of cannabis above all else. And then the creator of all things. God told me these things could heal me and make me clean. So why not believe? And then use cannabis and focus on that. That God told me I could come back from anything. Now, remember, I said I was diagnosed with complex PTSD with dissociative identity disorder. So we've taken care of the complex part of it, right? Being black in America, the DID, disassociating. Cannabis can help you disassociate. It can also help you focus. That's what we call sativas today. Okay? So with sativa, you can focus. And if you're focusing on healing the pothole in your mind, then you find the food that matches the thing that the smoking or the cannabis that you're consuming, right? And that heals that portion of your mind over time. So let's just say we determine um, the terpene that matches the point in your mind where depression lies. And we focus your cannabis use, the food that you eat, and anything that you drink, including alcohol, because alcohol helps. Think of like alcohol when you're rubbing alcohol, it opens up the pores a little bit. It helps open up the words are hard. Blood brain barrier. Okay, to allow the cannabis to come through when you're smoking. Now, when you're doing something like an edible or say an oil or a concentrate, then it's the same thing. It's just you would titrate it a little bit different, basically. Okay, but anyway, then you got hybrids. They take you through the day mostly, right? So if you want to get through the portion of the day where you feel sleepy or drowsy, then you get a hybrid that's sativa dominant, yet has the properties that allow you to settle into the last of your workday and push through to get work done. It's medicine. Medicine. Okay. They do have patches that work for 72 hours. However, you'll still need like a brain fog thing. You'll still need these things. Consumption is consumption. The expert. Hush. Okay. So back to it. And then you got your indicas, and they call that an indicouch, right? So when it comes to this particular conversation and me being the gateway today, I encourage people to listen to their doctors when their doctors say, take time off from work and couch it. So that means if you have to consume a high powered THC for medical purposes, you need your medical marijuana card because that goes above and beyond. Like right now, I have a 10 milligram edible in my mouth. I need 20 milligrams at a time, really, but 10 since I'm trying to do something else like this helps me to remain focused and awake. I'll still be alert even though I'm not sleepy or whatever, right? Because when I wake up, I'll have the munchies and I will consume more food than I would had I not consumed cannabis at all. That's how we deal with the wasting syndrome. It overrides the mechanism in the brain that causes us to starve. And most of us, it's due to having been starved. It's not poverty mindset, it's starvation in the mind has set in. It takes a long time for that to be worked out the consciousness, right? You have to go through not it's like grief, but yet it's like grief yet um you're learning to accept that you're safe. That's the PTSD. And that's where your identity is. So as you become more aware of the world around you, it gets wonky and you want to disassociate. Okay? That's where the disorder lies. Everyone disassociates from time to time. But when you dissociate from your own identity, who you are as a human being, usually by way of trauma, right? That's pretty much everyone today. That's why I say trauma informed care. And we just start there and we introduce cannabis as a mechanism to help heal the mind and body over time. We have medicine in America today. Something that we're not selling, but something that people can take and profit themselves from by way of healing themselves and going on to become leaders in the future. That's why I have a program built for all the people who've gone through this. Why I ran for president. Not because I wanted to be, but because I needed something to believe in when nobody else would believe in me. I bet you dollars to donuts, I could rise to the ranks of AmeriCorps and become the president of this country. And when I achieved the point of getting Donald Trump to even pay a little bit of attention to me when he started talking about cannabis, I was like, oh, heck, heck, I got this. What's next? 1,100 years from now, and then some. So from there, it's just giving myself goals. But how do you achieve those goals? Incrementally. You have to go from being economists to being incrementalist. You have to look at the increments, the metrics, the measures, the rubric, what makes up American society, what makes each culture inside of American country pop, tick, exist. Let's pretend that America is only 7 days old. What do we want America to be in 1,000 years? You see? That's it. See if we can keep it beating. Peace.